When I think about this place, I think about the biology, I think about the beauty, I think about the people who have devoted themselves to this place.
I think the land is, for me, tied up with the idea of this discovery and the freedom and the going out every day wondering what I'd find that would be new.
From the oaks above to the otters below, the Elkhorn Slough is a joy for the senses, a refuge for weary travelers, a place to share, and a place to grow.
Elkhorn Slough watershed is unique in this part of the California coast. It isn't just because of the critters that live in the mud that I love so dearly. It's because of the importance of that whole ecosystem to the health of the entire area.
Surrounded by industry of all sorts, the Elkhorn Slough is the second largest tidal salt marsh in California. It's host to nearly 350 species of birds, the largest concentration of southern sea otters in California, and some of the most threatened and endangered plants and animals in the state. It's a remarkable conservation success story that almost never was.
The folks here who put their shoulder to the wheel of conservation changed history of this place.
By the mid-1970s, 90% of California's wetlands had been lost, and proposals for the Elkhorn Slough included a deep water port, an oil refinery, and condominiums, among other developments.
It really became critical that we forestall the development and that we began little by little to clean up the watershed and restore it.
A growing awareness of the slough's importance and the threats it faced was a call to action.
The community came together and said, not on our slough. This is not the place to do that. This is too precious. This is too valuable.
In 1982, the Elkhorn Slough Foundation was created to support the newly established National Estuarine Research Reserve. They began reaching out to the public by teaching classes and training volunteers.
0.78.
I didn't even know this place existed.
It's way better than just learning inside.
It makes you realize things that you didn't know before.
The education and volunteer programs are now run by the California Department of Fish and Game.
We really formed what I consider to be a seamless partnership with the National Estuarine Research Reserve and the California Department of Fish and Game, so that we now work together to make sure that we're conserving this place, that we're understanding it, that we're opening it up for everybody's use and enjoyment and education.
Supporting the reserve was just the beginning, as the foundation soon turned its attention to the watershed surrounding the slough.
At some point, the board of directors realized that we're really going to need to take on responsibility for owning, managing, protecting land. And so at that point, Elkhorn Slough Foundation became a land trust.
The foundation now protects nearly 4,000 acres, using research to guide its management and restoration efforts.
Once you have the lands, you don't just say yahoo and walk away from them. It takes day-to-day ongoing management activity.
What we want to do is not just pass it down. We want to pass it down in better condition than when we received it. And I think that is really what our work is about.
Newly acquired properties are often plagued by invasive weeds, erosional scars, and trash. Foundation staff and volunteers have restored more than 2,000 acres, reestablishing healthy habitats while reducing sediment and chemical runoff into the slough. Yet, this is also a working landscape, and balancing the needs of people and nature is an ongoing effort.
I grew up with that sense of the land both being an amazing place that was just gifted with wildlife, all of that natural, teeming life and fertility, and its utility.
The Porter family was one of the first ranching families of California. and one of the first conservationists of the slough.
Okay, this room up here in this corner, this was my room. I learned that the working landscape means it works for you as well as itself, that it has a life of beauty, excitement, and dignity of its own, and you can cohabit with it.
The foundation promotes a working landscape by leasing about 10% of its land for organic ranching and farming.
Working with the foundation is great because you always have someone there. I like to think of it as a collaboration. You know, we always work together.
By farming organically and only on hillsides with gentle slopes, groundwater is conserved and water quality in the Elkhorn Slough is improving.
If we want to continue to come back to these ranches with this beautiful scenery, beautiful area, and good producing ground, then we got to take care of it. You know, we got to be good stewards of our land.
As the foundation moves into the future, it's dedicated to meeting the ongoing challenges it faces and working to ensure that the Elkhorn Slough remains a refuge for nature and an inspiration for all.
We want to build a constituency for places like this so that they understand, appreciate, and love these places.
30 years ago, the community came together to protect this unique place. Today, the Elkhorn Slough brims with wildlife, valuable science, and beauty.
The land will teach you. Being in a natural setting, it brings you not only a certain peace, but it brings you a challenge to join it, to be with it, to help it survive and grow as you do.